Okay, Dodger game people. I'm doing a second. Well, no, the actual other video was in the darkness of the night. So, this is Saturday daytime. It's going to be a quickie. I put up a web page today on, that polygamy kind of subject in Mormonism. Finally. Yeah, I just recently realized I hadn't even done that. So, I've got the most videos about that than just about anything. So, I got something. Anyway, we'll go through it. It's pretty quick as far as the reading goes, and then I just got a bunch of videos. So I'll kind of do a little intro on them. A Mormon Truth Videos Gospel Topics Hub .weebly.com. Oh, we could just go down on the page, but let's find it here. Women, whiskey, and wine, and a few dozen more women. That's what it is. I probably should add a little decoration here to it, but at least we've got the content up. So, was anything they told us at church on the subject of alleged Mormon polygamy actually true? Well, perhaps when we get to certain details about Brigham's Lion House, we might actually find some obscure item which correlates with reality. However, the general narrative, starting with Frisky Joe taking liberties with young Fanny Alger, their 16-year-old nanny, in the barn in 1833, about 10 years prior to the alleged revelation known as Section 132, which found its way into LDS scripture about 1872, I think, was even claimed to have burst from the heavens upon this incomprehensible, self-proclaimed American prophet of the Restoration. I find little resembling the truth was taught to me in gospel doctrine classes, church history, or priesthood lessons. No, indeed, but that humble, obedient boy who was presented as a pure and holy vessel for the living God to work through to restore lost truth and authority to the earth, and was actually portrayed as the reluctant yet obedient servant of God who was forced by his God to prove his determination to serve him at all hazards, with the help of his wife Emma, in selecting suitable plural wives, in which thing he did bend to the will of God in creating his celestial harem, despite being grieved by the idea of having to open up their marriage to additional women of God. Nothing was ever mentioned about the infamous spiritual wife system and its hundreds of victimized women in Nauvoo, or the fact that Joe was chasing the wives and daughters of fellow apostles as quickly as he could get the boys out of town on a mission, or at least out on a business trip of any sort. The portrayal of Joe as a virtuous man is blatant dishonesty, as we shall soon see. No mention of the fact that the God of Joe was commanding him to break his own marriage covenants and the terms of a legally binding contract with Emma, and the total lack of integrity such a God must possess. Neither did we discuss the fact that when Joe stole the wives of 11 men, that he was destroying 11 families for eternity. Yeah, that'd be a great families can be forever lesson, wouldn't it? If you can only avoid the prophet. The following videos present a much more accurate picture of what Joe did with the women once he got a taste of power in his high and holy calling. Alright, so how many videos I got here? Here's a little 2 series here called Plural Marriage Among the Latter-day Saints. Something like myths, whatever, something in misogyny or whatever. Oh, I can't see the whole title. Alright, that's on Mormon Truth Videos, by the way. So is the next one. So were a bunch of these. Plural Marriage Among the Latter-day Saints. Myths, morals, misogyny, whatever. Okay, CES letter part 4. And part 4.132. Where I was reviewing CES letter and getting into the whole plural women thing. Alright. Now we got a set of 10 here, which is a lot of reading and some commentary, where I'm reading, the sworn testimony of Joseph H. Jackson, who went undercover in Nauvoo to discover what was really going on with Joe's secret societies with his Danites and his organized crime and his exploitation of all these women and so forth. And yeah, Joe Smith, kind of like Al Capone, Jimmy Hoffa, yeah, running organized crime basically in Nauvoo. Everything from counterfeiting to indentured slavery through prostitution. All right, so anyway, Joe and his secret combinations in Nauvoo Part 2. So anyway, there's like 10 parts of that. They're each about 15 minutes long because I was doing the 15-minute thing back then. You know, they're not perfect. I didn't have a teleprompter, but they're pretty good. Pretty informative despite being not technically perfect sometimes. What Mormons believe. Polygamy, what Mormons believe. Okay, so I had to... Was Mormon polygamy invented to cover up Joseph Smith's spiritual wife system? The real Mormon polygamy story, Part 2, Spiritual Wives. Joseph Smith's polyandry in Nauvoo, Part 3. Okay, so Mormon girl, she's got her techniques for making Joe sound like the reluctant polygamist. And so I had to kind of dissect the NLP she was using to try to get it to be believable. Mormon polygamy, polyandry in the spiritual wife system. Is polygamy doctrinal? 50 problems with the Mormon church. So, actually there's a bunch more of those, but I only put that one in. And then, how Mormons believe the official polygamy story versus primary documents or something like that. And there we go. So that's kind of a little bit about how they managed to get us to believe stuff that has no basis in reality, to make Joe look like he is a folk hero instead of a something else hero, a bad boy, an evil exploiter of women, and anyone else who had, anything he wanted. So there you have it. Newest thing up on Mormon Truth Videos Gospel Topics Hub, and it is all about exploiting women by Joe Smith. And I'll have to add on to it with the Brigham Young thing, which actually was kind of like polygamy. Yeah, Brigham the Wretched. Todd your game out.